Hello and welcome to the Power Rankings for The Challenge All-Stars Season 3. And we're going to be talking about where everybody stands after Episode 7, heading into Episode 8. We had huge eliminations this week with Ronnie being eliminated and Jordan, who last week was in the top 3. Heck, a few weeks ago, he was in the top 2. Now let's go into who I have at number 5. Not terrible to say like, hey, this is number 5, but this is number 5, the bottom of the power rankings, and I'm going to keep on keeping on with Nehemiah, and I have Veronica down here. I have a feeling that things are not going to be shaking out well for Veronica as we move forward in the game. We did get this whole story where Veronica was talking to Kayla about falling down the stairs, hurting her foot. I was trying to get an eye on her foot for the rest of the episode, trying to see, like, is she, like, hobbling a little bit? Maybe she's being gingerly on the foot. Maybe she has something around her foot. I couldn't see because she was wearing a long dress and then some boots at the elimination. But I just feel like something is going to be coming around with that foot, whether it is her being medically DQ'd next episode, or if she has to put on a boot and then has to possibly make it to a finals and run with that boot. Either way, I think Veronica is in a very vulnerable position moving forward in the game, and if she does not win next week's daily challenge, well, one, if she stays in this game and does not win next week's daily challenge, I feel like she could be called out sooner rather than later. And then Nehemiah, this was a difficult decision for me because it has been his strategy not to be winning into power or to be a force within this game. Because we know from last season, Nehemiah has it in him to really come out and play. But he has a lot of friends in the game with Brad, with Wes. He doesn't need to put a big target on his back, even though Derek is trying to push that target onto Nehemiah's back. Nehemiah hasn't won anything, and I think that's what plays here, is that I don't think Nehemiah has a ton of power going into next episode because he hasn't won, because he hasn't leveraged anything in this game. He really is putting a lot into his social game and also staying underneath the radar. There's no real place to hide. He needs to win next episode to stay out of elimination. If he does not go into an elimination before the finals, I'll be shocked because it just seems like every season that Nehemiah is in, he'll at least go into one elimination. So he needs to pull out this next win to stay out of this coming week's elimination. If not, he's going in. I mean, he was this close. I'm actually still surprised that Derek did not just automatically default to throwing in Nehemiah with the way their rivalry has spurred on from last season to this season. But I think that Nehemiah has a lot more friends than, say, Derek, but it's because Derek has won into power multiple times is why I think I put Nehemiah down at number 5. I mean, everybody is a really strong competitor left in this game so far. So trying to figure out, like, the power positions and power plays with the 10 players left in this game is going to be a little bit difficult. Some people are going to be closer than others in, say, the power rankings. So right now, this was a tough decision for me between putting Nehemiah at number 5 or number 4. It was just the differences in how the season has gone and who's won what and who hasn't won what is why I have Nehemiah at number 5. Even though I feel like socially he's in a better position than, say, who I have at number 4 just above him, which is Derek, and for the women, I have Naya. If the production team hadn't shown that Veronica had gotten injured and possibly could be being medically DQ'd next episode, I would have had probably Naya in last place at number 5, just because of the preview for next episode with Jordan leaving. We've heard that she feels that she does better in the game when she has somebody to kind of latch onto, to be there for her, to be her ride or die. And with Jordan leaving, we see her in the preview kind of freaking out. We know she has a really big fear of heights, but she just maybe not feeling it. It's too soon after Jordan had been eliminated from the game. Now she has to jump right into a daily challenge, and it just doesn't seem like her head's in it, her heart's in it. You want her to just pull out and get to a finals, because it would be her first finals in her challenge career. She's made it this far. She's won an elimination, and you would know that if Jordan was standing right there next to her, he would be pushing for her to keep going. So I'm hoping that she can kind of shake this off and maybe just be able to like move and groove and find that power, find that passion. And maybe KellyAnne, who has been this close alliance member with her, can help her pull through and be that person, kind of fill that Jordan spot that Nia is missing. And I'm hoping that Nia can kind of shake this off and really get focused back into the game and want that win. I think that Derek really doesn't have a ton of people in this game. He might have Brad somewhat, but I think Brad, Wes, and Nehemiah are much closer. And if it came to shove with Brad, I think he would lean heavily on the Wes and Nehemiah side of things than say just Derek. I think the only person Derek has fully next to him as his ride or die is Mark. And I think Mark is really playing the field. So because Derek isn't that strong socially, and he has a big target on his back from Nehemiah, from Wes, from John A., I think Derek could be in the line of fire coming into next week's episode. So that's why I have him at number 4. And if he does not win, he's most likely going to be sent in to the elimination by whoever wins in the authority. Let's get into the top 3. And at number 3, I was just talking about him. I have Mark, and then I have KellyAnne. Mark, not only did he get second place, almost winning. He could have had the shot to win the trivia challenge this week. He could have won again into the authority, but he just came up short. And then when talking to Derek, he pushed Derek to do the strategic move of sending in a power player, a big threat late in the game. And even when Derek was like, maybe he'll pick you to go into elimination, Mark did not care. He's like, he could say me, he could also say Wes, and that could be a win-win for us. So take the shot. Don't send in the quote-unquote safe play of Nehemiah. Send in Jordan. Great move. Then when he was called out, he didn't panic. He didn't get scared. He went in there, took care of business, and he won. And he has his 4th star. He's in a strong position in this game not to be called out. So I think Mark is doing a fantastic job. KellyAnne, she still has to deal with a numbers game with possibly KellyAnne and Nia going up against Kayla and Veronica and possibly John A. But KellyAnne is a strong competitor. Yes, she was targeted first in this daily challenge, but if anything comes down to physicality, I think KellyAnne has a really strong chance of winning, and I think she's more connected than what the edit has shown her this whole season. I think she does have this connection with Wes and his numbers and Nehemiah that I think that she is in a decent position. I mean, middle of the pack kind of position in this game. So KellyAnne staying at number 3 from last week. Now let's move on to number 2. And at number 2, I have Wes and Kayla. Very strong competitors. Wes has been very under the radar. Finally got into the top 3 past week's daily challenge, which is one of his better finishes over the past couple of weeks. Mark already said his name. Derek knows to say his name. Wes seems to get a little bit panicky in next week's episode. Possibly, maybe he gets kind of like turned on by maybe Brad, who is looking at this game saying, I want this win. I want this for my family. And yes, Wes did him a solid going into elimination for him earlier in the season. But maybe Brad is looking at it going like, okay, well, we got Jordan out. Now my only other biggest threat left in this game is Wes. And I know we're friends, but I know he will respect this game move if I try to take a shot at him now. And you know what? I think that's what could happen, because I think we see Wes getting very angry coming back to the house. And I don't know, maybe push comes to shove. We could be seeing maybe Brad and Nehemiah coming together going like, we're going to have to take a shot at him. And Mark is already on board to taking shots at Wes, even though they could be having this alliance underneath all the deals that he already has going on for him. But even with that being said, even if Wes goes into elimination, there's a good chance he comes back from that elimination. No matter what, it's going to be tough to try to take him out of this game at this point so late. And then Kayla has been doing a fantastic job this whole season, this whole game, and I think that there is a target on her back, but she's just been consistently crushing it at these daily challenges. She got second place this past week. I just think that even if Veronica somehow gets medically DQ'd, even if she gets thrown into elimination, I think that she can pull it out. I think she can be able to pull out a win. Maybe if it's not a puzzle, she would have a better shot at it. But I just feel like Kayla has been consistently a top competitor on this season, and I'm going to keep her up at the number 2 spot because she can always pull out a win, it feels like. No matter what the daily challenge is, she has the ability to finish up at the top and possibly get that win every single time. And now let's go into the top spot. Who's at the number 1 rankings? You probably guessed it. There's only 10 people left, and I've already said 8 of them. So there's only 2 people left, and at number 1, I have Brad and Jonna. Brad, I think, is the nucleus on the men's side. I mean, he has friends on both sides. He's good with Derek, Mark, Wes, Nehemiah. I mean, I don't think he needs to win, because if he wins, then he's going to be double-crossing a friend. He could just lay low, doesn't have to be worried about being called out by the authority. He doesn't have to worry about being called out by whoever is called out by the authority. I just feel like Brad is on easy street to make it to the finals at this point. And I feel like he's getting a very big winner's edit this season. I mean, he is getting a very good edit, despite not knowing the Beatles. And then on the opposite end, we have Jonna, who is playing a really strong game. Finally got her first elimination win with the competitor that went the full distance. She actually got that win instead of somebody quitting. But Jonna came in calm, cool, and collected, called her shot on Ronnie. I think she is a big threat in this game. And as well as she has been to the past 2 finals in both All-Stars. So if she somehow makes it to the finals, she has somewhat of the most recent finals experience out of the rest of the women. I will say that KellyAnne was in All-Stars 1 finals and tied with her to get 3rd place. At this point, I think Jonna is someone that nobody wants to mess with. We're getting this close to the finals that I think Jonna is seeing that prize, seeing what she needs to do to make it to the finals. Now, if she does not win next week's daily challenge, she's most likely going to be called out again, especially if Kayla or Veronica win it. They're going to just call out Jonna again, as they should at this point. I mean, why wouldn't you? Jonna has been to the past 2 All-Stars finals. She is the winner from All-Stars Season 2, and she has the most stars out of all the women left in this game. If you don't take as many shots on her as humanly possible to get her out before the finals, I mean, she's coming in with a big advantage. If she has 3 stars, 4 stars, the most stars out of the women's side. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen and how this season wraps up. But at this point, I have Brad and Jonna at the number 1 spot in my power rankings. But that is it for the power rankings for this week. What do you think about my rankings? Let me know down in the comment section below. Do you agree with my rankings or do you disagree with my power rankings? And if you disagree, let me know your power rankings down in the comment section below. But let me know anything and everything you thought about my power rankings and the season down in the comment section below. And while we're here, I want to give a special shout out thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to everyone who is watching this video up to this point. I'll be back very, very soon with more Challenge All-Stars Season 3 content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.